Ishankolakkadan. Ishankolakkadan. Ishankolakkadan, Kolakkadan, Kolakkadan, Kolakkadan.
ഹലോ ഞാനുള്ളത് ഇവിടെ കോഴിക്കോട് ബീച്ചിലാണ് ആൻഡ് ഇന്ന് ഇവിടെ മലബാർ ഹോർട്ടൂസ് എന്ന ഫെസ്റ്റ് നടക്കുകയാണ് ആൻഡ് ഇന്ന് ഇതിൻ്റെ ലാസ്റ്റ് ഡേറ്റ് ആണ് ആൻഡ് ഇവിടെ ഉള്ളത് മലയാള ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ തന്നെ എല്ലാം ചരിത്രം പറയുന്ന ഒരു ഷോക്കേസാണ്. സോ ലെറ്റ്സ് എക്സ്പ്ലോർ ദിസ് ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ്സ് സോ ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ ഹിയർ. ഇവിടെ കുറേ ആൾക്കാർ ഫോട്ടോസ് ലിറ്ററേച്ചറിൻ്റെ ഇതാണ്.
Anybody else with the questions?
Good morning. Having listened to the entire thing, I agree. We can see that there's a lot of the leadership interaction to the people. They come down, stay down to the people, talk, understand. But probably as being part of a journalism student or whatever, why not? Why not? Getting to social media a little more might not be, I don't see the party as such being very active through social media.
Sense that I'm not saying it's perfect, there's always scope for improvement and we can always do better. But as I had said that the first yatra, it was primarily digital. We had no other ways of reaching out to people or covering the yatra or publicizing it. So all the yatra, like from early in the morning to like end of the day, everything was covered on digital platforms. You could see live streaming of it, and digital is where we really took to, and I mean that's what we did and that's what we have continued to do. And of course we can do more, but I think we're already like very very focused on digital.
Can I just pitch in very quickly? Just the earlier point, I know I'm sort of belaboring the point, but see, I don't think that the onus of fighting or nurturing a constitutional consciousness is entirely on the party, organized political system. I think it's on all of us. We are all plugged into each one of our systems. I'm a student of history. In independence India, during the freedom struggle, you had ordinary people picketing alcohol shops and wearing khadi. Not that Gandhiji told them ki aiye wear khadi and do it. They were doing it at their own level. My point is, each one of us is plugged into one of these WhatsApp groups. At least 4 or 5 WhatsApp group, our family or school or college, whatever, right? That itself is a way we can start. The only thing we need to do is be connected to that shared value. That's all.
Thanks for bringing that up. I think what we are dealing with in these novels, as far as this facet is concerned, is one of the central and the deepest conundrums of our time, at least of over the last 20 years or so. what has happened, I think, is that many of us have had, I think, in this country, a socialist sensibility. For one reason or another, as we've grown up through the, whatever it is, 60s, 70s, 80s, and so on, there has been a kind of a presiding ethos of some level of equality, some level of egalitarianism, some amount of sort of social conscience operating in each of our minds and hearts. Now, what happens with the opening of a market economy is something very curious, I think. When a market economy comes into being, as it did in India in the 90s and the 2000s, all of a sudden there is a great deal of material inducement and allurement that comes into being. Very concretely, what I mean is that products that you had only heard about, take something as down to earth and as everyday as shampoos or soaps, products that you had only really heard about and fantasized about perhaps, or seen the advertisements for, that one had to smuggle in from overseas, all of a sudden become available on the shelves over here, shop shelves over here. So let's take something like Revlon shampoo or something like Yardley soap and so forth. These, for those of you who are too young for this kind of a thing, let me assure you, you would not be able to find these products on Indian store shelves before the 1990s, mid or late 90s. And you had to ask friends and relatives to do you immense favors by bringing them in. Things like that. Now, suppose, even if you have a socialist conscience, let's put it that way, you might still like the sensual feel of these products. A Revlon might suit your hair better than the Shikakai soap that you've been using. So you might actually have good reasons also to then subscribe in a way to the use of the material products that have come your way. It could even be cars and things like that, models of cars. Now, the conundrum with the market economy then arises is, for the products that you are now inclined towards, would you also then buy shares in the companies that manufacture them? Would you also then, bolster those companies' profit lines, bottom lines, through this gesture of, can't just be a gesture of solidarity, but you also want to make your own money, right? And you know that the market is booming. So if you then subscribe to, let's say, these companies in that way, these firms in that way, then of course one of the consequences of the market economy is that it widens the gap between the haves and the have-nots, as Tanuj was saying.